Some games are legend,
and some are just games you've never played. One such game is
Castlevania Judgment
for the Nintendo Wii. When most people hear the name Castlevania, it brings to mind images of a classic 2D action platformer. But this Castlevania is a little bit different. This game was the answer to a question literally no one had ever asked. What happens when you take the well-known vampire slaying franchise and beat it on the head with a 3D brawler-shaped baseball bat? The answer is the 2008 title that almost no one played. Who thought this was a good idea? Who knows, but let's play it anyway. The story of the game, as much as there is one, revolves around the silver-haired mystery man Aeon, an uninspired androgynous anime character who has pulled the various heroes and villains of the Castlevania universe into a nexus of time, or the absence of ideas, as I call it, and then forces them to fight for some vague reason or another. So, not much in terms of narrative, but it is a fighting game, so not really a big deal. But the designers of this title did appear to go out of their way to make the in-game dialogue brain-damaging ear poison.
The Belmont Whip? I ask you, show me the power of a true vampire hunter.
But nothing a mute button can't fix. The game does come with a variety of modes, such as Story, Arcade, Versus, and Castle mode. The characters you have access to depend on the completion of the Story mode, and range from an unidentifiable version of Simon Belmont, the original whip wielder, to Death, Alucard, the Lord Dracula, and even Cornell the Werewolf from the second N64 game. And though I do wish Richter had made the cut, I am fairly satisfied with the characters present, if not overly enthused by their uber anime appearance. Also, physics-shattering boob jiggle for some reason. As far as the gameplay of this game is concerned, well, right from the start, the controls feel awkward using the Wii remote, so I would recommend using the classic controller or GameCube controller. They make the playing of the game a bit more playable. Once that's been done, the game is relatively solid, if not a bit bland for a fighter. The moves lists are not super in-depth, but the ability to use sub-weapons in combat is a nice touch. The ability to go anywhere in the 3D stages, which have various hazards, and the over-the-top flashy supers that break the flow of combat put me in mind of the Dreamcast title Power Stone. And after a glance at the Wikipedia page of this gem, apparently I'm not the only one who had this thought. Also, the redesigned Grant from Castlevania 3 and the Jack character from Power Stone do look related. Once you've mastered the story mode, you can try your hand at taking on Dracula's castle in Castle mode. Unlike pretty much every other Castlevania, this castle is mostly just some mini-challenges and a few boss battles which play out like any 1v1 fight in the game. Arcade mode is a quick action option for those who want to jump right into the thick of things, and the Versus mode is exactly what you would expect. You versus someone who will like you less after you make them play this game. In total, I don't find it a terrible game. It's just a budget title with graphics looking more in line with the PS2 and a less than stellar combat system. Which, FYI, is the one thing a fighting game actually needs. But it's alright for a few rounds here and there if you have any controller but the Wiimote. And you can get the game sealed for next to nothing. If you like Castlevania and fighting games, this is the only game that does both. Kind of. So if that's a thing that sounds like your cup of tea, go for it. But in my opinion, this game you've never played is probably best if it's left at just that. Never played. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe or follow me on the Twitters. It's where I steal my jokes.